For over 40 years, a bizarre Hawaiian dolphin cult has remained relatively unknown. Led by a woman named Joan Ocean, the group believes in UFOs, aliens, Bigfoot, Atlantis, and so much more. When you first go to joanocean.com, you're immediately flashbanged with some pretty wild visuals of Joan, her partner, and whatever that is. Scrolling down, you see pictures and videos of dolphins, Joan, and the collective group that she leads, called the Dolphin Connection. Everything gets much weirder when you continue further down the website. Under a section titled The 3 A's, Aquatics, Andromedans, and Arcturus, Joan writes, "For many, many years, dolphins and whales have not been included in conferences that feature extraplanetary civilizations. But it was okay. The cetaceans have communicated that it was not their time for their wisdom to be shared with researchers and scientists." So aside from Joan believing that there are hidden conferences featuring aliens, she also believes that dolphins and other cetaceans are purposefully hiding their abilities to talk with humans, which is definitely an interesting theory to say the least. Under more information about communicating with dolphins, Joan writes about World Contact Day in 2019. Join us worldwide to welcome our friendly star neighbors, living in other solar systems on other planets and dimensions to communicate and visit with us. Admittedly, as someone not in the hardcore UFO community, I had no clue what Joan was yapping about. Though after a bit of Googling and becoming enlightened, World Contact Day is a yearly event where UFO enthusiasts come together to think thoughts really hard, in an attempt to telepathically communicate with extraterrestrial life. Joan links 10 full messages meant for these extraterrestrial beings, where she negotiates and bargains with the aliens. "We have the ability to travel using the projection of light. You are the embodied Atlanteans and the light beings of Mu returning. You have asked us to join you." She briefly name drops Atlanteans like it's nothing. You know, the people of Atlantis, the underwater city. Now before we talk more about the group and what they do at their compound, who exactly is Joan Ocean? How does someone even start a spiritual alien dolphin cult? And what's up with her name? I mean, I'd bet my neighbor's house that her actual name is not Joan Ocean. That's like Einstein's name being Albert Math.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
She does claim that it is in fact her real name, and it was just a giant coincidence.
I know a lot of times people ask how come, my last name is Ocean, and really that was my name, but I didn't get the clue. I didn't understand the importance of that name until much later in my life, and as I think most people...
Maybe the dolphins told her that her real Atlantean name was Joan Ocean. Looking her up on Google doesn't give much away. She has a few books and some YouTube videos, though that's really it. The only information available about Joan is written by her on her own website, so take everything I'm about to say with a massive grain of salt. In 1978, Joan Ocean first met John C. Lilly, a cetacean researcher, and felt very moved by the information he shared. Joan felt a connection with Dr. Lilly and his extraterrestrial experiences that seemed to stimulate her eventual relationship with the dolphins. She then goes on to say that she couldn't meet them due to being a non-swimmer at the time. Years passed, and after she met Jean-Luc Bozzoli, the man that created all of the art shown on these websites, Joan learned to swim, helping her connect further with the dolphins. She wasn't just standing on the beach watching from afar anymore. One day, a whale came close to Joan and changed her life forever. In a slight southern accent, the dolphin whispered into her ear and began singing. Soon after, Miss Ocean returned to shore where she felt the irresistible urge to dance to the Macarena. Okay, I made that bit up, but I'm sure that wasn't too far off from what actually happened. Joan just says that she understood that cetaceans around the world are trying to communicate with us. In 1984, Joan and Jean-Luc Bozzoli founded their group Dolphin Connection to explore the advancement of human consciousness, biophysics, and spirituality. She traveled the world studying dolphins, eventually choosing to stay in Hawaii. Scrolling past more yapping, Joan herself summarizes things pretty well. Joan and the dolphins have been visiting the many futures of planet Earth with and using the knowledge obtained there to awaken people to the powerful significance of their own futures and their present lives. Either she's on copious amounts of mushrooms or the dolphins really are talking to her. There is no in between. Now here's the part that gets very culty. In this group, the Dolphin Connection, Joan and Jean-Luc Bozzoli built the Human Dolphin Village in the late 80s, where clients of Joan's come for spiritual counseling and to discuss dolphins. Shockingly, a decent number of people reach out to her and travel all the way to the village. In the mornings, the group goes out to the water to swim with the dolphins and whales in pods. Pods are basically what a group of cetaceans swimming together is called. So what the Dolphin Connection Village does is go out, form their own human pods, and swim with other dolphins or whales. I found a video on YouTube of them swimming around one whale in 2013. Now look, I know whales and dolphins are very social creatures, but something about a group of humans surrounding a whale or even a dolphin just chilling in the wild rubs me the wrong way, especially when this group isn't doing it for real scientific research. They're doing it to satisfy their spiritual and frankly pretty outlandish beliefs that cetaceans are like interdimensional beings. Of course, swimming with dolphins and whales sounds awesome, but doing it in the wild is just not a good idea. And many marine biologists share this same sentiment, because swimming with them can disrupt their natural living patterns and behaviors, which is why swimming with spinner dolphins was banned in Hawaii in 2021. And of course, Joan Ocean promptly wrote a message about it on her main page. Jumping back to the Human Dolphin Village, Joan writes, "There are fascinating worlds of great beauty and inspiration that exist in nearby realms." She then goes on to link her books and seminars available to purchase online. Joan has written 2 total books. One is called Dolphin Connection: Interdimensional Ways of Living, and the other is Dolphins into the Future, each costing around $10 to $15, which is very different from most cults where they overprice the ever-living hell out of their books. So good on you, Joan. The books just give more insight into her and her connection with the dolphins. The seminars are where things get more interesting. As far as I'm aware, these seminars do not exist anymore, or at least they aren't being publicly advertised anymore, because in 2021, Joan temporarily discontinued them, so that she and Jean-Luc Bozzoli could work on their new book, and also because they were restricted by the rules set by the government on swimming with wild dolphins, which we just talked about. At least she left up her old seminar postings here where she charged $1,600 per person? Joan, you I take back what I said about the books. I guess this is where the real money comes from. And this payment doesn't even cover lodging, transportation, or food. It's literally $1,600 to stand in the presence of Joan Ocean and just stare at dolphins. No, seriously, Joan writes, "I have learned that this eye-to-eye contact with a dolphin or a whale is an experience of receiving information from them." So we learn here that Joan's way of communicating with the dolphins, and the way you would if you went to the village, is by staring into their eyes. And that's when they would telepathically give you the secrets of the universe, and also the location of the nearest psychedelic. The last page of interest on JoanOcean.com is about everyone's favorite large hairy animal. And no, I'm not talking about your mother, I'm talking about Bigfoot, also known as Sasquatch. In early 2005, Joan received an email from a stranger asking for her help on communicating with Bigfoot. See, this mysterious person wanted to learn the technique Joan used to communicate with dolphins so that they could communicate with Bigfoot, stating that they had been in contact with the big hairy creature. See, this person set up a makeshift box holding food that required delicate fingers to open. So when they saw that this box had been opened, they immediately assumed it was Bigfoot, not Crackhead Joe from down the street. Nope, it had to be Bigfoot. This story was enough for Joan to begin Bigfoot hunting. In June 2005, I flew to a neighboring island to see if I could initiate contact, in the same way I had begun my contact with dolphins. Speak to them telepathically and listen for anything they wanted to give me, show me. Joan goes on to write about her week spent in the jungle by herself, attempting to contact Bigfoot. She heard sounds, smelled something awful, and was touched on the shoulder in her sleep. After more insanity like grandmother Sasquatches and Sasquatch portals, Joan describes what she believed to be her first sighting of Bigfoot, including 2005 era pictures at less than 144p, also talking about her belief that they can teleport and disappear. I'm not going to cover everything on this page because there is so much Sasquatch and Joan Ocean lore, so if you wanted to read more, her website is still available to view right now. All you need to know is that she never actually saw Bigfoot, which is shocking, I know. It was just feelings and telepathic vibes. So given all this information, where is Joan Ocean today? Everything we talked about so far was from 2021 and earlier, so what about now? Well, she has a YouTube channel with only 3 videos, but it's been inactive for nearly a decade. Others online have posted videos with her featured in them, whether it be interviews or straight up video recordings of trips to the ocean with Miss Ocean. Her websites have been mostly the same since 2021. The only thing known about her current shenanigans is a film that she's released last year. Titled Ocean, the movie is over 2.5 hours long and goes through the story of the dolphins and whales through the life of Joan Ocean, with reviews from unnamed and undescribed individuals on the side giving high praises to the film. It's available to watch online, but you do need to buy it, which I am not doing today. All in all, I think Joan Ocean and the Dolphin Connection group do have good intentions. It's not like they do anything bad or harmful to warrant any real concern right now, but the group for sure has some of the most absurdly hilarious beliefs that can get very conspiratorial. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they thought flying gnomes were responsible for wind, though at least their beliefs are nowhere near as bad or dangerous as others that have existed in recent times. As far as I know, I really hope this ages well.